We've all been promised this beautiful, seamless future of augmented reality, where digital data floats perfectly in the world around us. But the reality is that current headsets are basically heavy plastic bricks strapped directly to your face, throwing off your balance and leaving you exhausted within an hour. We've been promised a seamless future of augmented reality, but current smart glasses are essentially heavy plastic computers strapped to your skull. They are hot, they throw off your center of gravity, and they look incredibly awkward. So, what if we skipped the middleman entirely? What if we stopped wearing heavy technology on our faces and started putting it directly into our eyes using an invisible smart contact lens? This is not science fiction. Deep tech material science has recently accelerated to the point where fully functional, ultra-thin smart contact lenses are a reality. But if you wear standard contacts, you probably have one immediate, highly justified question. Where exactly does the battery go? You absolutely cannot put a traditional lithium battery on a human eye. They can experience thermal runaway, swell up, or leak corrosive chemicals. The cornea is one of the most sensitive tissues in the human body. It cannot tolerate heat, swelling, or chemical leakage. This specific safety bottleneck is exactly why smart contact lenses have been stuck in laboratory limbo for nearly 15 years. The breakthrough finally arrived when deep tech startups debuted entirely functional prototypes powered by advanced solid-state ceramic microbatteries. Think of a smartphone battery like a water balloon filled with volatile liquid. A solid-state ceramic battery replaces that liquid with a rigid, dense sponge. It utilizes a mesoporous ceramic structure. This means it is filled with billions of microscopic pores that hold energy-carrying ions perfectly in place. There are zero liquids. Because it is a rigid crystal lattice, it cannot leak, swell, or explode. You could literally cut it in half safely. These microbatteries are less than a millimeter wide. They are seamlessly embedded into the outer perimeter of the contact lens, entirely outside your line of sight. They provide just enough microwatts of power to run ultra-low power circuits without generating a single noticeable millidegree of heat on your eye. With the safety crisis solved, what do these lenses actually do? The initial major push is actually coming from medical technology and vision restoration. One incredible development is the ALMA lens, designed by European researchers. It functions as an autonomous, smart artificial iris, just like a camera aperture. When a healthy eye walks from a dark room into bright sunlight, the brain automatically constricts the pupil to protect the retina from blinding light. But millions of people suffer from conditions where that dimmer switch is broken. For them, stepping into daylight is excruciatingly painful. The smart lens solves this using an ultra-thin layer of liquid crystals. It constantly monitors ambient light, and when it gets bright, it reacts instantly. The liquid crystals dynamically rearrange, autonomously creating a dark diaphragm that blocks excess light, eliminating light sensitivity without requiring surgery. Beyond light control, there is chemical tracking. Deep tech startups have developed lenses that act as continuous glucose monitors by reading your tear fluid. This means diabetics could potentially throw away painful finger prick devices. Your tears contain an incredibly accurate reflection of your blood chemistry. By embedding an electrochemical sensor into the lens, it samples your tears and sends a low-power wireless alert to your smartphone if your blood sugar spikes. There is also intraocular pressure monitoring. Glaucoma builds pressure inside the eyeball over years, slowly crushing the optic nerve without the patient knowing. Currently, testing for it requires sitting in a chair and letting a machine blast a highly uncomfortable puff of air directly onto your eyeball. Instead, a smart lens features a microscopic sensor that tracks the physical curvature of your cornea all day, catching dangerous pressure spikes instantly. The medical side is historic. But what about the computing interface? If we want floating digital screens in our vision, how do we control them? You can't exactly lift your hand and start poking your own eyeball to click on a link or swipe to the next page. Current AR headsets track your eyes using power-hungry infrared cameras that constantly blast invisible light at your pupils. But a contact lens can't afford that energy. Remember, these lenses must operate on absolute minimum energy. So, how do you track exactly where an eye is looking without using any electrical power? Engineers solved this with passive eye tracking, requiring zero electrical power. They used an optical illusion known as a Moiré pattern. If you've ever driven past two overlapping chain-link fences, you've seen those large, rippling, wavy patterns dance across your vision. That is a Moiré pattern. It happens mathematically when two overlapping patterns shift. Even a microscopic movement of one layer causes a massive, highly visible shift in the overall pattern. Engineers embedded two ultra-thin, completely transparent optical gratings directly into the contact lens. They are invisible to you and don't distort your vision. But when your eye rotates, even by a fraction of a millimeter, the physical distance and angular relationship between those two embedded layers shifts. This instantly creates a unique, highly specific geometric signature. It acts as a passive, smart geometric mirror that requires no electricity to run. Now, any standard low-power external camera, like your laptop webcam or smart TV, can easily read that shifting pattern from across the room. Your laptop computes the angle instantly and moves your cursor exactly where your gaze lands. You can navigate an operating system with pure geometry. This shifts the heavy computational burden entirely off your face and onto the external hardware sitting on your desk. It solves the weight and power problem perfectly. So, what is the timeline? Following successful prototypes in 2026, the industry targets initial specialized consumer rollouts for late 2027 and 2028. Currently, the focus is on optimizing the oxygen permeability of the materials, ensuring they can be comfortably worn all day without drying out your eyes. But the real hurdle is psychological. If the computer is physically attached to your eye, how do you escape the loud, intrusive notifications? Popping up an attention-grabbing banner ad while you were trying to cut vegetables, or worse, driving a car, could be literally fatal. This is why designers are pushing a concept called Contextual Serenity. The software must be radically minimalist and strictly reactive. It should only render helpful information when you actively seek it out, and completely dissolve into clarity when your focus shifts back to the physical world. It is the ultimate convergence. We shrank desktop computers into smartphones, then strapped them to our wrists, and now the interface is shrinking into invisibility. The line between human perception and digital information is dissolving. Once you wear a safe, data oversight lens, the entire world becomes your screen. Soon, the era of staring down at a glowing rectangle in your hand is going to look like an incredibly primitive stepping stone in human history. The foundation of this entire future rests on that solid-state ceramic microbattery. Without guaranteeing absolute safety, none of this computing magic ever touches a human eye. And by starting with medical applications like glaucoma monitoring and artificial irises, the industry is building vital trust through rigorous clinical trials. They are restoring normal life to those suffering from photophobia, proving that this technology isn't just a gadget, it is a life-changing medical tool. The ability to read biomarkers directly from tear fluid opens up non-invasive diagnostics that go far beyond just glucose monitoring for diabetics. And with passive eye tracking, your environment becomes the processor. The lens acts merely as the key that unlocks the screens already surrounding you. That shifting Moiré pattern isn't just for moving a mouse. It could eventually serve as a continuous, unspoofable biometric security key for your devices. The days of wearing a hot, heavy brick on your face to experience augmented reality are officially numbered. Physics and material science have found a better way. Of course, engineering a polymer that holds electronics while still allowing your eye to breathe properly is a massive challenge they are still actively refining. The ultimate goal is true invisibility. The user shouldn't feel it, and anyone looking at the user shouldn't be able to see it. It brings us back to the core promise of augmented reality, keeping humans looking up and engaged with the world, not staring down at their hands. The smartphone revolutionized the last 2 decades, but the contact lens is poised to shatter the smartphone paradigm completely. Imagine walking through a new city, and your navigation directions are painted seamlessly onto the pavement, completely hands-free. Or having real-time translation subtitles appear next to someone speaking a different language, transforming how humans communicate globally. But we must enforce that contextual serenity. The hardware is ready, but the software developers must respect the sanctity of human vision. Because when technology lives on your eye, having the ability to easily turn the data off and see the real world is the ultimate luxury. So keep your eyes peeled as we approach late 2027 and 2028. The deep tech startups are moving incredibly fast. And maybe start practicing not blinking every single time you think about putting complex electronics right next to your face. But undeniable progress is here. This is a future worth looking forward to, and it will change how we interact with information forever. If you're ready for the invisible computing revolution, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click on the bell icon to stay notified. Leave a comment on what technology topic you would like to cover us next. If you enjoyed this, we've turned it into a full podcast. Search for The Static Frontier on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. New episodes drop every week exploring the tech and science mysteries you never knew existed.